Hello, readers and writers. I'm Erin Popelka. I was one of the scheduled authors for this year's Get Lit celebration. I am so sorry that we are not together in person, but I am so grateful for Get Lit to provide this opportunity for us to connect virtually. So thank you for watching. I am going to start by celebrating last year's Get Lit 2019, when we were all together. One of the authors who was there was Joe Wilkins, and he was kind enough to read from his poetry collection, When We Were Birds, which I have right here. And so I just want to start with a beautiful poem. It's the title poem of his collection. It's called My Son Asks for the Story About When We Were Birds. When we were birds, we veered and wheeled, we flapped and looped. It's true, we flew. When we were birds, we dined on tiny silver fish and the watery hearts of flowers. When we were birds, we sistered the dragonfly, brothered the nightwise bat. And sometimes when we were birds, we rose as high as we could go, light, cold, and strange. And when we opened our beaked mouths, sundown poured like wine down our throats. When we were birds, we worshipped trees, rivers, mountains, sage knots, rain, gizzard rocks, grub shot dung piles, and like all good beasts and wise green things, the mothering sun. We had many gods when we were birds, and each in her own way was good to us, even winter fog, which found us huddling in salal or silk tassel, singing low, sweet songs, and closing our blood-rich eyes and sleeping the troubled sleep of birds. Yes, even when we were birds, we were sometimes troubled and tired, sad for no reason, and so pretended we were not birds, and fell like stones, the earth hurtling up to meet us, our trussed bones readied to be shattered, our unusually large hearts pounding for nothing. Yet at the last minute, we would flap and lift, and as we flew shudderingly away, we told ourselves that this falling we would remember. We thought we would always be birds. We didn't know. We didn't know we could love one another with such ferocity that we should. So thank you, Joe Wilkins, for the collection When We Were Birds. Thank you for that beautiful poem. Thank you for reading it last year. I also last year, one of the things that I do, in addition to being a writer, I also am a reader and coordinate a community of readers called Must Read Fiction. And so last year I did have a table at Get Lit, and I asked you, what novel do you wish everyone would read? And kindly collected responses on a whiteboard. And this is a picture of that whiteboard from last year. So for those of you out there at home looking for your next great read, this is a selection of recommendations that people gave last year of a novel that for whatever reason they found so meaningful that they wish everyone would read it. So a really great list of options there. Also, if you need more reading options, Must Read Fiction is on all of the social medias. So we are on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I do author interviews that you can find also on YouTube, including some authors that were scheduled to be at this year's Get Lit. So you can find some conversations there. Easy to find. It's just at Must Read Fiction. And if you want to know more about me or my writing, I'm at erinpopelka.com. And so I want to close with one more poem. This is from an author scheduled to be at this year's Get Lit, Derek Ennis. They published Neighborhood of Grey Houses, which I have in my hands, a beautiful collection of poetry. And I want to read one poem from that collection. It is called House Made of Fire. Along the river's edge, seagulls and stray dogs wander over scraps of dismembered machines. On the opposite bank, there is a bar of precious metal, or a shard of glass, or a bag of hair buried under rubble. Stephen and I sit on a concrete slab in the shade of the tall bridge, take turns sipping wine from a gallon jug, take turns holding a small wheel of light as we stir a bowl of black earth Reeds uproot, give themselves to wind, then water. A man, or the skull of a boar, or a poppy seed, stands on the bridge's railing far above us, tosses computer chips into the water. Stephen and I, in the course of our travels, have discovered a new kind of vision. We make small incisions in our bodies, fill them up with mud. There was a time for desire, but the sun has passed through that region. Stephen and I have learned the language of rags and walked on all fours for weeks, collecting jagged twigs, stacking them neatly in our pit. Where we live, there are no walls. So thank you, Derek. Thank you for Neighborhood of Gray Houses. Please do check it out. And please do keep reading and writing. I know that we are separate from each other, but we are all together in this. So please do keep up the great writing, the great reading. And I hope that we connect again soon. Thanks so much.